My daughter, 16, Megan just finished her cancer treatment. She's lost her hair in the process and she's been incredibly insecure because of it. She no longer meets friends nor welcomes them at our home nor even meet family in person. It's been bad to say the least, but her stepbrother, 18, Ben has been making it worse with his nagging comments and jokes about her looks. He tried taking and posting pics of her secretly to share, but I shut that down even though my husband thought it was just harmless teasing. My husband's sister's wedding was last week. The family wanted Megan to go but she didn't want to. I spent so much time trying to help her and convince her to start socializing again and see family. She agreed under the condition that I let her wear a wig, which I agreed. Not only that, but I took her shopping to pick her own wig and she looked beautifully stunning in her pixie hairstyle wig. My husband and Ben laughed when they saw it. I don't know why. We went to the wedding and everything was going well till this happened. We were all sitting and we started talking about Megan. Look, suddenly Ben reached out and pulled her wig and exposed her head. I was shocked. I froze, but Megan yelled, then took her wig and ran. Ben, his cousins and some guests started laughing. I was upset, especially when looked over my shoulder and saw my husband sitting next to his mom and laughing. I lost it on Ben and berated him in front of everyone, then took my stuff, got Megan and got into the car and went home. Ben and my husband didn't have a ride home and my husband kept calling me but I didn't respond. He came home asking about me leaving mid-wedding and upsetting his sister and then leaving him and Ben with no route home. I argued with him about how Ben embarrassed Megan and humiliated her publicly, which must have ruined what's left of her self-esteem. He said that it was just kids teasing each other and that I overreacted and Ben had no malicious intent, he was just messing with her. I said I was sick of it, but he said that this is their way of bonding as step-siblings and I was getting in the way of it and being overprotective and unreasonable. We didn't talk after that and Ben is refusing to apologize and his dad is backing him up. IF, 33 found out that my ex-husband M, 37 was cheating on me when I was 7 months pregnant with our son. I got a divorce and we share custody of our 3-year-old son. My ex-husband's girlfriend tried to get involved in my parenting several times. She even commented on my son's name, implying that we should agree on a name we all want, not just what I wanted, and tried to dictate what he should and shouldn't have. As a result, she started throwing stuff of his that I paid for myself. Honestly, it's frustrating because I'm barely getting by with the money I have and cannot afford to buy a replacement for all the stuff she throws but my ex-husband says it's her house and she gets to decide what can and can't enter. I made a crochet blanket for my son with his name on it. This blanket is special to me, and the tools I used to be able to make it cost me money. Not to mention the time and effort it took to get it down. I sent my son to stay with his dad days ago, and he wanted to take the blanket with him to sleep with it. I don't know exactly what happened, but when I came to pick him up he told me his dad's girlfriend took it away from him and threw it out, leaving him with no blanket to sleep with at night as punishment for him for not accepting the one she offered. I was furious. I called his dad but he hung up on me. I sent him a text explaining the situation, but he texted back telling me that I should stop the drama and go look for a job if I have so much free time on my hand instead of picking on his girlfriend. I felt frustrated. I visited his family, who are good to me, and told them about what their son's girlfriend did. Now it's worth mentioning that she's been working hard for their approval and to get on their good side. They were shocked to know about what she did. They all flipped out on her and started calling her out. My sil took it further by putting this on social media, which made other family members see what she did. My ex-husband called me yelling about my pathetic attempt to turn his family against his girlfriend. I could hear her freaking out in the background while he was lashing out at me, saying I ruined every chance she had to have a good relationship with her future in-laws. I hung up and felt absolutely horrible, even though I was just venting to his family about what happened and felt frustrated. Maybe I shouldn't have told them? I'm not sure anymore, since the whole family aren't speaking to her. See, that might have a lasting impact on their relationship with her. I'll start this off by saying that I, F32, have been with my husband Bob, M39, for 3 years, married for 1. His mom has a habit of keeping me out of most of their functions with the excuse of "you work too much." Not true, because sometimes I do make myself available but yet find myself excluded. Last week, his mom invited us for a celebratory dinner at the restaurant after she completed her recovery. I had to with that day, but I get her and everyone know that I'd be there at 8 p.m. Bob obviously knew I was coming. Thing is, when I arrived to the restaurant I saw that the table was full. All chairs had been taken and I just stood there with complete puzzlement while Bob and his mom just stared at me. His mom then told me there was no place left for me and that I could either have Bob get up and take his seat or go home. I was so upset, but instead of going home I just went and took an entire table for me. Bob and his mom watched with their eyes popping out of their heads like they saw something so shocking. NGL, I did get weird looks from the guests, but so did Bob and his mom. It was awkward in all honesty. I had my dinner, dessert, then went home. I saw Bob and his mom staring grudgingly while I was making my way out. He got home an hour later and yelled saying I embarrassed his mom in front of her guests. I yelled asking WTF was I supposed to do after I got denied a seat, and he told me that it wasn't his nor his mom's fault. Guests arrived before me and took all the available chairs. I told him he could have saved me a chair. He said that I could have just left instead, and reminded me that I was a guest and that I shouldn't expect this level of entitlement to be accepted. He then went on about how I ruined the entire dinner for him and his mom with what I did and has been pouting about it for days now. I don't get it, I really don't. Was my expectation really that entitled? I mean, as his wife he should have saved me a seat. But clearly I'm missing something here. My fiancé, M37, and I, F30, have started living together 6 months ago. I own a house and he moved in with me. I run online business from home which allows me to live rather comfortably. A month after moving in, he quit his job saying how much he hated it and that he's going to try and do Twitch streaming for a living. I'm all for following your passion, so I was supportive although surprised at the turn of events. I am in financial position to support us both, but it felt off. Anyway, nothing happened with his Twitch channel. Sure, he's gaming all day but hasn't bothered to even try and create an account, he just games for pleasure. It's been 7 months. I've had conversations with him suggesting he finds work, but he keeps telling me that I'm unsupportive and he needs time. He wanted us to buy a bigger house together, but I said that I'm fine with my current one and that since he doesn't have a job, I don't want to get mortgage and be left with paying everything, and he told me that if I found a real job maybe I wouldn't have financial problems. We had a massive argument that night. Now, he's been hinting at needing new gaming laptop which costs a few grand and I've been ignoring it, so he asked outright for me to buy it for his birthday. I told him no, that my fake job doesn't cover new laptops, and he got really pissed at me, telling me I'm selfish and am ruining his career. Granted, I can afford it to buy it, but he really hurt me saying my business is not a real job despite me working my ass off. Ada for not buying him new laptop? I, 27F, got married a month ago. My dress was this long, lacy gown that my mom wore at her wedding. My mom passed away about 2 years ago. Because the dress was so important to me, I had a big plan to keep it safe from any damages. I would only wear the dress at the wedding itself, and I would switch to a more casual dress for the reception. When I was wearing the dress, I wouldn't eat or drink anything except water, and I would stay inside at all times. I promise I'm not usually this crazy about cleanliness, but this was my mom's dress, and the thought of it being damaged broke my heart. But I also knew I wanted to wear it when I got married to have a piece of her with me. She adored this dress and always dreamed I would wear it. My bridesmaids knew very well about my particularities with the dress. I had a room above the venue where I was getting ready. My dress was hanging in a safe place in the room. On the day of the wedding, I went down to check on something for the wedding, leaving my bridesmaids in the room. Here's what happened, as they told it to me. They opened a bottle of Pinot Noir, my favorite, as a celebration. They poured themselves glasses and began to walk around checking out the room. One of my bridesmaids, Anna, 27F, wanted to get a closer look at my dress. She got really close to it, and she started touching the lace. Somehow, her hand holding the wine glass slipped, and wine spilled all over the bottom of the dress. When I came upstairs, they told me what happened, and I started sobbing. My maid of honor called several professional cleaners, and they said there was no way they could get the dress in before the wedding. They told us ways to save the dress until we could get it into them, so my ma started doing that. After that call, I became extremely angry. I asked Anna what the hell she was doing holding red wine so close to my dress when she knew how careful I was being. She dismissed it and said it wasn't such a big deal because I was planning to wear the dress, so it could have gotten damaged that way too. I couldn't believe she said that. I called her thoughtless and careless and stupid. I told her that she was no longer part of the wedding and that I wanted her to leave. She left, and neither of us have reached out to the other since. I got married in the dress I had planned to wear for the reception, and I was heartbroken not to be wearing my mom's dress. After the wedding, my bridesmaids joked that I was a bridezilla for kicking Anna out after she made an honest mistake. I absolutely don't think I'm the our bridezilla because Anna's reaction was so horrible and insincere. But I wanted to get the story off my chest and ask some people who might be more impartial. Ada? I'll just get straight to it. I'm a college student and this is my last semester until medical school. I've never been able to get a loan. I've worked 5.5 years to get this degree because I have to pay out of pocket, so it takes way longer. I've worked 2 sometimes 3 jobs at a time and barely had a social life. For this upcoming semester I reached my goal for tuition, so I quit one of my jobs so I could relax a bit. I was a server, bartender at 2 bars and an office job, so I always have cash hidden in my apartment in my closet and box, and before the semester starts a week or 2 before I deposit it so I can pay my tuition. My boyfriend sometimes stays over while I'm there or when I'm not. Since I've been saving for this semester he's the only one who's been over. I've never told him about the box, but he knows I have to pay for school. Well, yesterday night I get home to put money in the box because I was gonna deposit it today and it's all gone. I freaked out and tore my apartment up thinking I put it somewhere else, knowing I didn't. I called my boyfriend like crazy, no answer. I didn't sleep last night, I was panicking. Then this morning he finally calls me back. I'm yelling at him about my money. He's acting all confused and like I'm crazy. He comes over, I'm still pissed off after a while he finally admits he took it so he can borrow and he'll pay me back. Where TF is he gonna get $14,000 from in 2 weeks? I went into a rage and called the police and reported a theft because that is what he did. Well, it's been hours now. I guess he got his phone call because his family has been blowing my phone up and his mother has said some really hurtful and racist things to me. They've been harassing me for the past 6 hours now. It's stressing me out even more and I hate that I'm feeling bad for him, but he stole my money that I've been saving for months. His brother did call and he was respectful and said they'll help him pay it back and I should just go to the police station with him and tell them I want to drop the charges, but I really don't believe them. I could do that and never get my money back still. I don't know what to do and I hate that I'm contemplating doing this. I'm just really pissed off and have been crying all fucking day.